Do you feel like no matter how much you plan, you still feel behind? And then do you try to organize everything perfectly and it just adds more stress? If you answered yes to any of that, I totally get it because same. And that's why I changed how I plan my week so that I don't feel like I'm overloading myself. So, if you're new here, hi, my name is Cherry. I am a stay at home mom of three living in Hawaii. And this is part of my Mom Mindset Reset series where we focus on making realistic systems that make mom life a little bit less overwhelming. If you missed last week's video, I talked about what I stopped doing to protect my mental energy. So, check that one out if you want to get your head right before the new week. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I plan my week so I don't feel so behind. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you want to drink, and let's get to the video. When planning for the week, I find it easier to set a day in the week where you can actually sit down and intentionally plan. And for me, right now in this season with my little kids and my husband's work schedule, I like to plan on Sunday or Saturday. So the weekends, basically. So what I do is I gather all of my materials that I need. I get my laptop and my notebook and a pen, and then I make myself a nice drinky drink or something, and I will start to brain dump. The thing with brain dumping is that there is no organizing. When I first started brain dumping, the perfectionist in me would start to organize my thoughts while I was writing it down. But the whole point of brain dumping is you are literally just taking out the clutter in your brain onto paper, and it can be as chicken scratchy as you want. It can be as, I write really quickly, if anything, because I don't want the idea that I'm thinking of to just run away and disappear into the void. But I write down any and everything. But something also for me is that before I go to sleep, before my head hits the pillow, I like to write in my notes app things that are, cluttering up my mind, things that are bothering me before I go to sleep. Because I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, sometimes our mind just can't shut off before we go to bed. And so I like to just brain dump too right before I go to sleep so that I can get all of the things that are bothering me out onto something else too. So usually I just use my notes app on my phone because I have my phone with me right away and I don't want to do that extra step of getting my planner or getting my notebook and paper. So I brain dump in the evening too. What I do with all of the brain dumping that I did in the evening, I will either transfer it onto the same paper for the brain dump or I will just airdrop it onto my laptop. So I don't know. It's just totally up to you. Whatever works for you, that's just what works for me. And then that's pretty much it. You're brain dumping anything, appointments, chores, your to-dos, events that you need to do, shopping lists, recipes, or just content ideas. I don't know, anything. But there's no organizing. It's just dumping. The best thing about brain dumping is that it gets everything out of my head, all of that noise, so I can actually see it in real life, in physical form on paper, so that I don't have invisible stress. This next part I like to call sorting because I'm not organizing them or categorizing them. I'm just sorting out what's really going to be my focus for the week. So what I would do is I would take a highlighter or use the same pen that I was using to brain dump and circle or highlight the things that I know I need to get done this week. So for example, I know I need to return the library books this week because I literally got an email for the due date of the library books. So I need to highlight that or circle it. Or I know I need to really wash the curtains because I haven't washed them in so long. So I will highlight that or circle it. Sorting step is really important for me because my brain dump list looks overwhelming. It's an example of what my brain looks like, how all of the tabs are running in my head. So that's why so sometimes I get overwhelmed with my own brain dump. So when I sorting it out is a necessary step to the next part of my planning. So we all have goals and we all want to reach them, right? And sometimes we write 20 goals for one whole week, and that's just not realistic. The best way to start is to pick 3 to 5 weekly priorities. For me, my weekly priorities either have to do something with myself, my children, my marriage, or something with my house, like cleaning. And I say 3 to 5 because some weeks for me, I need to do 5 priorities because maybe I have like family visiting and I need to get the house clean, or I need to push for something for my son who's autistic. So maybe I need to add something else into the priority list. So that's why I say 3 to 5 for me. But if you don't want to do 3 to 5, you can do 3 priorities or you can do 1 priority. It's really up to you and what works for you. And to me, priorities mean that that's the thing that you focus on first, right? All of the things that I sorted in my brain dump that are still important for me to do in the week, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to erase them and never look at them again. I have it there, but they're just a bonus now. So if I get the first 3 priorities out of the way, then I can do the other bonus items. I hope that makes sense. Before making a list of priorities for the week, I would literally just live day to day, not knowing what I was going to do next, and then feeling like when the next week comes, I was still behind. And if you've been feeling that way, I think this kind of system to put in place in your routine is going to help with you feeling less overwhelmed or that feeling of being behind or not doing enough, because there's a plan in place. There is something that you is tangible that you can look at, because just because you're a stay-at-home mom, or even if you're not a stay-at-home mom, and you're just a mom trying to figure things out, a better system for getting things done, you need structure. We all need structure. We all like predictability. Routines and planning is very, very crucial to helping with feeling less overwhelmed. I anchor specific tasks to a specific day. Say that 3 times fast. I anchor a specific task to a certain day so that I'm not thinking about that all week. For example, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a housewife, basically the homemaker. I have a set day for the cleaning task. So like Tuesdays, I clean the bathrooms. That's the anchor task for cleaning on Tuesday. On Thursdays, the anchor task is cleaning the kitchen. So I will clean the kitchen on Thursdays. And that helps with lessening the decision fatigue. If you want to learn more about what decision fatigue is and how you can combat that in motherhood, then you should check out my Why You're So Burnt Out as a Mom video in my Mom Mindset Reset series. I linked it here below. Having an already planned out specific task to a day is extremely helpful in lessening the overwhelm, so that when you wake up, you already know what to expect. And obviously, life happens. So if it doesn't get done, you can do it the next day. But knowing that every Tuesday is your bathroom day, it lessens the stress. Trust me. I use a mix of digital planning and paper planning. I like to keep my repeating tasks and pretty much everything else in my planning in Notion. And then I use my paper planning for like the weekly priorities and my brain dumps. But having both of them keeps me grounded without making everything so complicated. I am obsessed with my life map that I created in Notion. I call it my life map because I have everything that is in my life in there. And it keeps everything organized in a way that I would understand. So if that is something that you would like to see on my channel, a full tour of my Notion planner or my life map in Notion, then let me know in the comments, because I would love to make a video on that. Something about digital planning that just makes things more simple as a stay-at-home mom who doesn't want to be overwhelmed. And I'm just going to give a quick example. Digitally, you can just copy and paste, but versus paper and pen, you have to rewrite everything. So that's the biggest difference for me in digital planning and then paper planning. But I love paper planning too, don't get me wrong. But right now in this season that I'm in, digital planning is just where it's at with me for my content planning, my meal planning, and even my cleaning schedule. Even my habit tracker I do on digital now. But do whatever works best for you. There's no right way. It's just whatever fits with you in the season that you're in. Just to recap what I talked about in this video, the way that I plan for the week to feel less behind is I follow these 4 steps. I pick a day for when I'm going to sit and intentionally plan for the week. So for me, it was Saturdays and Sundays. Do whatever works best for you. I brain dump right at the start of the planning. So, whatever you can think of in your brain that's cluttering up your mind, write it down on a piece of paper or in your notes app on your phone or on your computer, wherever. And then the third thing is you're going to want to sort everything out in your brain dump, highlight or circle the things that you know that you want to get done this week. The last part is you pick 3 to 5 priorities for the week that is going to be the things that you need to target first before you do anything else. So if you want me to share the planner that I use for my weekly planning and my whole life planning really, then let me know in the comments. I would love to share it. And if this helped make your week feel a little less overwhelming, because life gets crazy, I know, but just a little, then don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode in my Mom Mindset Reset series. So from one trying mom to another, you are doing a great job.